All right, welcome back to another video introducing the game of dice baseball. In this video, I'm going to walk through the pitcher cards. So in a previous video, we talked about the hitter cards. And the pitcher cards are laid out very similarly. Again, we are using the gameplay, the actual statistics of each player for the gameplay values. This is the Baltimore Orioles, sort of their not starting three, but three of their top pitchers. Flanagan actually won the Cy Young in 1979. So Dennis Martinez, um, Mike Flanagan, and Tippy Martinez. This is an example of a reliever card. So I just wanted to show not just the starting pitchers, but the relievers. But it's going to be laid out exactly the same. You're just going to see different values between them. So we have the pitcher, we have their role, and what that role is, and we actually have closing pitchers as well. So if the player has the most saves on the team that year, then he gets a closer designation, CL, which I didn't show here, but each team has a closer, and that will give you some indication of who you could bring in for the ninth inning. This is sort of a time of transition into closing. So 1979, there were still some teams that didn't utilize a closer in the way that, say, a Bruce Sutter or Goose Gossage or someone like that would have been utilized. But Major League Baseball was sort of making that transition where, as you get into the 80s, you have some specific pitchers who were turning into closers. So you can see here we have wins, losses, ERA, games started, and you can see here, so no game started for Martinez. He was strictly sort of a late inning guy who was coming in, but only 3 saves. So he was not the closer for the Orioles, but you're talking like a seventh or eighth inning kind of guy. So in 39 games, he had 78 innings pitched, so about two to 2.5 innings per game. So it would have been sort of coming in the 7th inning and maybe closing out games, or coming in the 6th and getting into the 9th, that sort of thing. So you can learn a lot just by looking at their statistics. Saves, innings pitched, hits, earned runs, home runs, walks, strikeouts, how many hit by pitch batters that they hit. Balks, BK is balks, and WP is wild pitches. You will actually use those gameplay values in the game itself with the game engine chart. Here we have some sort of specialized statistics, and these are really the ones that you're going to focus on the most and probably use them the most within the game. So home runs per 9 innings, batting average against, the whip, so walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. That's how you get to the whip. Their K percentage, for Martinez, it's 11%, and the walk percentage, which is 6. So Tippy Martinez, a little higher at 19%. He had 31 or 61 Ks in 78 innings, so almost 1 per inning. But Martinez only 132 strikeouts in almost 300 innings, so not a high strikeout pitcher, but it's reflected here in the K percentage. And then obviously down here we have a number set off by itself, and that is the pitcher's stamina. This is representing how many batters on average that this particular pitcher faced during the year. So Dennis Martinez, in his starts, he had 1 game where he did not start, and 30 batters faced is on average how many he faced. Obviously, if 30 is the average, there were some games when he had fewer, there were games when he had more. But that's just to give you an idea, because I've heard gamers before say, well, I just need an idea of like how long I should be leaving this guy out there. Is he a 2 inning guy? Is he a 4 inning guy? Can he pitch a whole game? Is that realistic? Or is it more realistic that he would go 7 or maybe stretch to 8, and then that's kind of he's reaching his tipping point. So the stamina gives you a sort of general indication of how long you could leave the player in. Obviously, if Dennis Martinez has a no-hitter going and he's at 30 batters with 2 left, it's not a stretch to leave him in there for 2 extra batters, as 30 is just his average. So the way we get to that is how many total batters faced, which is not a number that's on here, but I do use that number in the calculations. So it's how many total batters faced divided by games, not games started. So obviously for a player like this, it's all reliever innings. Flanagan has one game that he didn't start. Martinez has one game that he came in and did not start. So, you know, even if you use games started, it would probably be at 29 or something like that instead of 28. So that is the pitcher card. And again, we will use these values in the game itself using the game engine chart, which will be the next video up. So I will show you how the game engine chart works, and that will be next.